Nick and Amy.
In September 2018, we quit our jobs, sold everything we owned to go travelling around the world.
We're taking What the Faux Travel podcast on the road to learn, challenge and explore the world.
We've set up our own business, Ant Podcast Management. Amy, Nick, Thompson, get it, Ant, so that we can be location independent and travel full time.
Our rough route starts in Europe and the Middle East, then moves on to Latin, Central and North America.
On this episode, we explore
La Paz and Copacabana. Good morning.
Hello.
We are in La Paz, which we thought was the capital city of Bolivia. We play the capitals game on the podcast, but we're not very good at it ourselves.
We've been lied to. We've been told that La Paz is the highest altitude capital city in the world, but it's not even the capital city of Bolivia.
No, it's Sucre. That's the capital, but I think it might have changed, so maybe that's why we're getting confused.
Yeah, I think it's changed. But then we were told there's two. Like La Paz is like the government one, but Sucre is the official one. Anyway, we're here now. We've left behind a uni, and the salt flats were amazing. Like they were so good. Like,
they're so good.
They're not overrated. They are amazing. But it's good to be here in La Paz, and you might think we're going skiing at the moment, but we're not.
Can I just say, we're at high altitude, and I'm getting out of breath for holding the camera up, so can you hold it?
Let me hold it. Yeah, doing like putting shoes on, like the most like menial task, big word, menial, is tiring. You get out of breath. But yeah, so what's happening now, Amy? Why are we flying above the city?
Yeah, so La Paz is a little bit special because of the terrain. They can't build into the ground for a metro system. So we are actually currently on the metro system, which is
in the sky. So that's really cool. It's quite a unique thing about La Paz. So far, you know what? Great impressions of La Paz.
Yeah.
The neighbourhood, oh my god, I can see some great views. We'll show you guys in a second. The neighbourhood where we're staying with our Couchsurfing host, really nice neighbourhood. The metro in the air is really nice and modern and clean. Right, you guys got to check this out.
Fun fact that our Couchsurfing host told us about this metro system, cable cars. There's actually 7 lines across the city, but soon there's going to be 10 lines, so they are expanding. And yeah, we're just getting a really kind of modern vibe from this place. I don't know what I was thinking it would be, but just not this. Like everything seems really modern, everybody seems really well off. To the places that we've been so far anyway, but yeah, we're heading into town now to meet our friend for lunch and just have a little walk around.
Yeah, so let's see what La Paz has in store for us. Today we're meeting someone who actually listens to the podcast. They got in touch with us over Instagram. They said, I see you're in my home city, a guy called Sebastian. I don't think he's actually from Bolivia, but he's lived here for over a year, and he's offered to show us around, which is really nice. So we'll introduce you to Sebastian very soon. So whoever thought that this was a good place to build a city, but I'm glad they did, because it looks amazing. And we have a guide with us today, Sebastian, who lives here.
Hello.
Sebastian, please tell us your story. Where are you from and why are you living in La Paz?
I'm from Denmark. Been traveling around like 3.5 years and ended up settling down here, looking for somewhere in South America to settle down. And I like Bolivia, so I thought, why not?
It's a cool place. So what do you do here in Bolivia, like for a job?
So I own a restaurant now. It wasn't really the plan, but yeah, things happen. I started working and got the chance to buy it, so
you are a restaurant owner, and it's Dutch/Bolivian food?
Dutch/Bolivian, touch of Indian as well.
Whoa! Can we check it out after this?
Sure. Sol y Luna.
Sol y Luna?
Sol y Luna.
Sun and moon.
Oh my god, that's
Wow.
so strange. That's the name of our favourite restaurant in Spain.
Yeah, there is a restaurant in Spain that we love called Sol y Luna. We had come to the top of the teleferico, which are the cable cars, to get the best view of La Paz, which meant we were now in another city called El Alto. That's Spanish for the Heights, and it's the second largest city in Bolivia, located adjacent to La Paz. Every Thursday and Sunday, El Alto holds its most well-known tourist attraction, even though there are hardly any tourists here. The 16 de Julio market is the biggest open-air market in Bolivia, covering an area over 5 square kilometers. Next, we're going to a point of interest that every city has, but this one is a little different.
So this is the cemetery. What's really cool about the cemetery here in La Paz is that every December, since 2016, every December, like a local group of artists, graffiti artists, gets graffiti artists from all over South America together, and they make murals around the cemetery. So you'll see, like, you have some murals here that are a couple of years old, and you have some new ones from last December, and every December they keep adding new murals to it. So it's really cool. It's a very different vibe to like a normal standard cemetery that you're used to, where it's more like happy vibes.
Very different to the cemetery we've been to before in Buenos Aires, where people have their own houses, like, for their grave, really. But here you can see it's much more compact. And, yeah, people just slide in. You can see this empty one here, which I guess makes more sense to save on space. But yeah, it's just very different from one in Argentina, because that was massively grand. But this is really, really interesting. Sebastian, what do you want to say about Sol y Luna to the people out there?
What do I want to say? If you're looking for a nice space, home away from home, when you're here in La Paz, escape a bit of the chaos, have a nice taste of Bolivia, craft beers, Bolivian food, then come round, have a good time.
Lads' night tonight. I've left Amy, she's relaxing in our Couchsurfer in his apartment tonight, and I'm meeting our Couchsurfing host Sergio, and I think his dad, because they've invited me to go to watch football with them. So I'm going to watch his football team, which is Bolivar. There they are. I think that's how you pronounce it. But the sounds of it, it's a big game. I think Bolivar is second in the table, only 2 or 3 points behind the first team, and there's like 5 games left of the season. It's really hard walking up hills in Bolivia because of the altitude, but this should be interesting, see what Bolivian football is like. It's not famous around the world, but I think it'll be an interesting experience. So when we see Sergio, I'll try to get him to explain, like, the team, the importance of the game, and hopefully it'll be an interesting night. ¿Tienes chef, por favor? Gracias. Ciao. So I got one of those minivans across town. They're such a cheap way to get across the city. Anywhere in the city is 2 Boliviar, which is it's like 20 or 30p, 30 US cents. And as long as you can work them out, they're a very good way to get across the city, and quite simple. As long as you know what part of town you're going to, you have to look out for it written at the front of the minivan. You'll see on the front screen of the minivan they've got a few destinations written. So as long as you know where you're going, then you look out for that van and you hail it down, say where you want to go, and then that's it. And then when you're there, you just say, here please, or in Spanish, aquí, por favor. I can speak Spanish. And then you jump out. But a really good way to get across the city, fantastic. While I wait for Sergio to finish work, I thought I'd hit you with some Bolivia facts. So, Bolivia actually is the country in South America that, per population, has got like the most native people. I think think it's like 90% of people living in Bolivia are natives. It's a very different story to a lot of the other places in South America, mainly Brazil, Argentina and Chile, which can feel quite European. Brazil quite African as well, but certainly Argentina and Chile feels very European. Lots of Spanish people, lots of Italians in particular in Argentina. And Bolivia is also a bit of an underdog. So, I mean, I'm going to watch football today. In football, they're a bit of an underdog. They're overshadowed by a lot of the bigger nations here in South America. But also when you look through history, they've been at war with quite a few of their neighbours and always lost land because of it. One example is they had conflicts with Chile before. Chile took a lot of Bolivia's land, and from what I understand, Bolivia couldn't really put up much of a battle and just kind of said, okay, you know, it's yours now, which is unfortunate. And that's why Bolivia is now a landlocked country, because it never used to be. It used to have access to the sea. Places in the north of Chile, like Calama and Antofagasta, which you would have seen in previous videos of ours, they used to belong to Bolivia, and that was how Bolivia could access the sea and the ocean, but now they can't. So it's quite sad, but I like the fact that it's mostly natives here. It feels very South American for the first time on this trip. It feels very, very South American. And, you know, also a shame that they're a bit of an underdog. Everyone likes an underdog story. So you thought this part of the video was just going to be about football, but something for everyone on this channel. I'm with the man now, Sergio.
Hi.
So Sergio, can you explain the importance of the game tonight?
Sure. Tonight is my team. Bolivar tonight is playing against Blooming. It's another team from a city called Santa Cruz. They are like, Santa Cruz is not in altitude, so they are always complaining about the altitude still. Like, they have played here forever, but anyway,
yeah,
they have some new Brazilian players.
Okay.
Like they are not used to the altitude, so maybe they are not going to play today. So
yeah,
it's gonna be easy for us.
Yeah.
Bolivar is. I'm a fan, but anyway, it's the best team in Bolivia because we have more championships, more everything.
The most successful team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Blooming is like it's good enough. It has some championship, but in general, in the history, like teams from the altitude have more championships because they can take advantage of that situation of the altitude. So.
Of course, yeah. And is this the highest football stadium?
The highest international football stadium
in the world.
In the world, like we have like the national team playing here.
Yeah.
We have stadiums that are higher. Like there's one stadium in El Alto. It's for 4,000 meters.
Yes.
But well, it's not like an official stadium. So
yeah,
this one is gonna be the highest.
Interesting. Do Bolivian people take football seriously? Is it a really important sport here?
Yeah, it's like the most important sport. Like
wow.
People that practice other sports always complain that, like for example, TV shows only talk about football. People only care about football. They only go to football matches and stuff, but they don't care about other sports. But it's kind of understandable in South America, like the football fever, and we're contagious. We're contagious by the Brazilians, Argentinians. We're not that extreme fans, but
yeah,
we really like.
Sergio, your team won 4-1 and they've now gone top of the table.
Yeah.
So how do you feel? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, sure. It was like it was a weird game.
They finished strong, didn't they? Started bad but finished strong.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I enjoyed it. Thank you very much for inviting me along.
It was a pleasure.
And I think it's funny, can you just say, some of the football teams in Bolivia, they have English names.
Ah, yeah.
And that's because, well, because football came from England, is that right?
Yeah, like at the beginning of the 20th century when football was beginning here, it was more like an English tradition, so
Yeah.
so most of the teams that started had names in English, like the strongest.
Yes, some of the names are quite funny for a native English speaker.
Yeah.
So there's one, you said, one's called the strongest.
Yeah.
Another one, what's another good name?
Always ready.
Always ready.
Always ready.
Let's try not to get hit by traffic.
Yeah.
To me that's very funny. A team called Always Ready and the strongest. Very good.
They're always ready, so.
They're always ready.
And then we have blooming.
So, blooming.
Blooming means something in English, right?
I think we might say that the flowers are blooming.
Yeah. Oh,
If like flowers are opening, I think.
So this thing was blooming. I don't know why they chose that.
Yeah, but your team are proper Bolivian.
Yeah.
Bolivia.
It's Bolivar because of
Bolivar.
Simon Bolivar, like the man who freed like half of South America from
Oh, wow.
Spaniard. Yeah.
So his name was
Simon Bolivar.
Simon Bolivar.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. See, it's educational going to football here.
Yeah.
But that was really good, so yeah, thank you, I really enjoyed it.
Ah, great.
The next morning we woke up early and headed into town, walking through the food markets to the meeting point of our free walking tour, where we learned a lot about local traditional Cholita women.
If you see her with the hat to the left or right, one side or the other, available Cholita. She is divorced, widow, single, ready to mingle. So she's available. The problem is if you see her with the hat in the back like this. If you see these guys run as fast as you can because this means she's in a complicated relationship. Thank you very much. Some class for her.
Okay, Nick, can I just ask you, what is it about me that you find sexy?
Big belly, big hips, and big thighs.
Okay, well I thought you would say something else, something like more from our culture, but we've just been learning about the Cholitas. Now, I'll try and put in a picture of them, but it's hard to catch them on camera because they find it quite rude if you take pictures of them. They're a bit superstitious.
Yeah, the traditional ladies wearing the bowler hats.
They're known for being sexy. If the bigger they are, the sexier they are. And the thing that the men really like about them is their big, juicy calves. If a woman has good calves, it means she's really strong. You know, she can hold their baby in one hand, llama in the other, potatoes in the other hand, and they can carry it all. It means they're really strong. And that's what the men like.
Yeah, apparently, because yeah, the women here, they commonly work on the food market, so they need to be able to carry a lot of weight. So that is what men look for in women here in Bolivia.
There we go.
This is the Witches Market, or El Mercado de las Brujas. All sorts of oddities are on display that promise to cure ailments of both the body and the soul. You'll find dried animals such as frogs, snakes, turtles, and llama fetuses. According to a tradition, these are buried underneath buildings during construction to satisfy Pachamama, Mother Nature, in exchange for good fortune. Bigger constructions are rumoured to use humans, primarily homeless alcoholics who can be found unconscious outside one of the city's elephant cemeteries. Even though this turned our stomachs a little, it was now time for a lunch break.
Yeah, let's go for the naughty one. This only costs 6 bolivar, which is like 70p, 60, 70p. Deep fried potato, apparently. And yeah, I think there's some meat and vegetable inside. Just tastes like a really nice, fluffy, big potato wedge.
And it's called rellenos de papa. After our walking tour later that night, we were off to something we didn't know was real. Let's go! I think that was probably one of the weirdest things we've ever done.
Yeah, like a lot of you guys, I'm blaming you lot, a lot of you weirdos told us to go. You said you have to do it in La Paz. And I think I agree, you do have to do it. It's very unique, but at first I couldn't work out if it was brilliant or shit. Now I've come to the conclusion it was pretty shit.
Yeah, like, cause a couple of people told us, yeah, it's really real, you know, these women are actually beating each other up, like a bit like boxing. And then others said it's more like wrestling, like WWF, WWE, where they like plan it out and all of that. And it was definitely the latter, for sure. Like, I don't know, would you recommend someone goes to that?
Yeah, I get, because it is the thing to do in La Paz, and I'm kind of glad that we've done it.
Yeah.
But it was so weird, and I think it was, yeah, like I said, I think it was shit, but yeah, I think it's one of the things you have to do when you're here.
Yeah, so you can do it on 3 nights of the week, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays. We've done it on a Thursday. Now the Tuesday is run by a separate company, and all the ones online that I saw of that one were really bad, like really bad reviews, because by the sounds of it, it was a really big hall filled with concrete and they couldn't fill it, so it didn't really have much atmosphere. Now as you can see where we were, it was definitely filled, it was packed out, and surprisingly there was a lot of WWE fans.
Yeah, you can tell they were proper wrestling fans.
Yeah.
People were loving it, and like the referee's the bad guy, and people were going boo, boo, and like they're really getting into it. And yeah, that wasn't us. I don't know, are we just like not being fun?
Yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't our thing, but it definitely was unique.
So if WWE is your thing, then I think you would love it. Like, it's really good, like, and it's so strange seeing these Cholitas fighting. Like, not strange because they're women, I'm not being sexist, strange because they're traditional women, and like, yeah, like we said earlier, they're known for being strong, and that's kind of sexy. So at one point I turned to Nick and I was like, I mean, is this porn for the Aymara men? Like,
the locals are going to love that.
Yeah, they love strong women, so is this their porn? What's going on? I don't know, it's a bit strange, but...
Strange night, and to make it even more strange, we're now flying home back to our Couchsurfing host Sergio for our last night in La Paz.
Not flying in a plane, we're flying in the cable cars, just to clarify.
Downtown, you see Murillo Square right there.
Yeah.
The church, San Francisco behind.
Oh yeah.
So all of this is like the main avenue, El Prado, and everything that surrounds that avenue is like downtown.
Yeah. Wow. It's an amazing looking city.
Yeah.
Spread across the mountains.
Yeah, it was nicer, but you saw those 2 buildings that are there.
Yeah,
that's crazy. We hate them. It's the new government palace.
We hate them.
No, it's...
Yeah, I've never seen a city like this before. It's very unique.
So it's the end of our time in La Paz and the end of our time with Sergio, our Couchsurfing host. Is there anything you want to say, Sergio, about your country, or about Couchsurfing, or about how great we are? Is there anything you want to say about Bolivia?
No, I'm just glad to show you around a little of my culture, my city, like, so you can understand more about our country. It was really nice to host you, like you were one of the best Couchsurfers and it would be nice like to see you again, like maybe when you come back, or in England.
Yeah.
Please come to England so we can return the favour.
Yeah.
You were such a good host. Like, yeah, you were so thoughtful, and yeah, little touches, and had a very nice apartment, and yeah, we had a very comfortable stay. So thank you so much.
And can I just ask, what do you think of the TV program In-Betweeners?
No, it's really nice. The best British show.
He's now an In-Betweeners fan. Come on guys, group hug.
Yay!
Group hug. Get in here. The journey from La Paz to Copacabana, which is on Lake Titicaca. If you do the journey here, it involves a boat, which I didn't know before. And it's a bit chaotic, it's not organised at all. Our bus, we think, is somewhere on the water floating around. I think that's our bus, tour bus, but I'm not sure. We felt like here we're suddenly in Southeast Asia. It's got that kind of same chaos about it, especially the journey getting here. You know, get on a boat, no one tells you what's going on, get back on a bus and we still don't know what's happening. But we're here now, seems like an alright place, seems interesting, but everyone in Bolivia is here because it's Easter weekend. So our timing either couldn't be worse or couldn't be better, you decide.
So we're guessing these are the Incas because this one has the sun on his head and this one has the moon. And so that represents Isla del Sol and Isla de Luna. There we go. Bit of culture for you there.
Copacabana is a hotspot for an uncommon Catholic ritual, car blessings. A priest does this with holy water, and then afterwards, the owners of the car pop open a bottle of sparkling wine, beer or cola, depending on their tastes and budget, and run around spraying the vehicle in celebration. The blessing ends with a big bang. Firecrackers are tossed under the car. This act is an offering to Pachamama, the Mother Earth goddess, and is a local indigenous tradition. This can cost locals around $30 US.
It's very sunny here, so that's the end of Bolivia for us. So we've done Uyuni, we've done La Paz, and we've now done Copacabana. So Nick, what do you think of Bolivia in all?
Fantastic. Honestly, one of my favourite countries I've been to. I've really liked it. I think the people have been nice, landscape's amazing. It feels like real kind of South America, and that's not saying anything bad about Brazil or Argentina, but because so many people here are the natives, it's felt really different, and I've really, really liked it. What about you?
Yeah, it's more Incan for sure. Like,
yeah.
I've loved it, but I don't know why it's not one of my favourite countries. I just don't feel like, oh, like I love this place.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like it. I've had a brilliant time, nothing bad has happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't think it's one of my favourites, but yeah.
That's
I'm glad
fine.
It's one of yours.
Yes, La Paz in particular was very good. Happy with that? So we're going through all of this as an alternative of, you know, a different way of getting to Machu Picchu. Most people, well, a lot of people do the Inca Trail.
And we've turned up in the middle of like Avatar or something. Come on. You're so natural. It's day 36 and it still hasn't cleared.